Iowan Cal Eldred talks about his success with the Brewers on tonight's sports. Connie with another super day tomorrow in the forecast. Join us at 6.
An unprecedented trial in Florida. A 12-year-old boy goes to court to divorce his mother.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Protecting the elderly. Questions on Capitol Hill about older Americans, advertising, and the truth. And Eye on Your Health. Tonight, how your mind can mend your body. New age, new rage. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, Dan Rather reporting. Legal history is being made in a Florida courtroom. A boy is fighting to, in effect, divorce his birth mother so he can be adopted by his foster parents. As correspondent Juan Vasquez reports, the outcome of this case has implications not just for a child's family ties, but for a country's system of foster care.
In what experts call an unprecedented custody battle, 12-year-old Gregory Kingsley watched as his lawyers launched an all-out legal assault today against his own mother. He accuses her of neglecting, abandoning, and abusing him. She was portrayed as an unfit parent with both alcohol and drug abuse problems.
She was an emotional wreck. She would go out and she'd be out drinking all night with the little bit of money she did make.
Would you describe Rachel as an attentive mother?
Not at all. Not at all.
Gregory is believed to be the first child ever to file suit to sever all ties with his natural mother.
I'm ready, Mr. Hanner. I want to divorce my parents.
In the Hollywood version, the idea of a child divorcing his parents was played as a romantic comedy with a happy ending. But family law experts say that what is really on trial here is a failing foster care system that rarely produces happiness for anyone.
The tragedy of a case like this is that Gregory was adrift for so long. And Gregory's not alone in that regard. There are hundreds of thousands of children in this country now in the foster care system.
After being shuffled around in the foster care system for 8 years, the child says that last year he finally found a family that loves him and wants to keep him. Gregory's natural father has already agreed, and his mother's stepsister testified today that she is in favor of it too.
Gregory finally has a chance to have a decent life with people that love him and care about him. I want that to happen. I want him to stay with them.
Although Gregory did not take the witness stand today, his body language spoke volumes. With his mother only a few feet away during a recess, he turned his back and ignored her. At other times, he seemed like a typical 12-year-old, oblivious to the drama around him. The custody battle surrounding Gregory has drawn intense interest because of the focus on the rights of children against parents. Whatever the outcome, experts say, it will probably add fuel to the political debate over family values. Juan Vasquez, CBS News, Orlando.
In California, a dramatic example tonight of how the foster care system can fail, in this case, with deadly results. John Blackstone has that story.
Yvonne Eldridge was known as a loving foster parent, taking into her care over the years more than 40 children, often those born to crack-addicted mothers, babies who needed careful medical attention. Eldridge was even honored at the White House by Nancy Reagan 4 years ago for her contribution to the great American family. Now police say she may in fact be a killer.
We believe that children suffered and died because of criminal acts committed by Mrs. Eldridge.
In the Eldridge's suburban San Francisco home, the state social services department claims babies were injected with chemicals, in some cases through their feeding tubes. At least 5 children died while in her care. She's accused of killing 3 of them. The alleged motive? Yvonne Eldridge craves the attention of doctors. It's a psychological disease called Munchausen-By-Proxy syndrome.
Munchausen-by-proxy syndrome is a disorder in which a parent, which is almost always a mother, induces illness in her child or fabricates illness in order to have her and her child remain involved with the medical system, with hospitals and with physicians.
Sometimes the parents repeatedly suffocate their kids and revive them. Sometimes they poison their kids slowly over time.
A doctor at a local hospital became suspicious more than a year ago. All foster children were removed from Eldridge's care while authorities investigated. Eldridge has not commented on the charges, but her family denies them.
There's not a shred of truth to this, not a slightest bit to it. We've lived here since 1967. None in our family has ever had any trouble with the law.
If a parent is lying and doing it well, it's extremely difficult for the doctors to know when that's happening.
While the state social services department has accused Eldridge of killing 3 children, criminal authorities are still investigating. So far, the only sanction facing this one-time model citizen is the loss of her foster care license. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
There are those who prey on children, others target the elderly. Today, Congress heard about new scams for ripping off older Americans. Heard about them from some of the victims. Rita Braver was there.
77-year-old Archie Wilcox of Duluth, Minnesota, lost most of his savings to marketing companies that promised huge jackpots.
And if you send back a coupon or something like that, then you get a call. And they always say you have won 10 million, 5 million, whatever it is, but you have to send in $420.
He spent $5,000, but never won a cent. Law enforcement officials nationwide say there has been an alarming increase in scams that target the elderly.
They're usually at home. They believe people. They trust them. They're very easy to take advantage of.
On Capitol Hill today, lawmakers heard from scam victims like Archie Wilcox and from state officials who detailed other rip-off schemes, including alleged overcharges for a device to summon emergency help.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Life Call can save your life, so call to get free details by mail right away.
Those very same devices that are sold for $4,000 and $6,000 can be rented at local hospitals for $10 a month, $10 to $20 a month.
Congress is talking about new laws to force businesses to be more honest and about a national hotline for seniors. States like Minnesota are trying another approach.
Oh, but this thing will carve the turkey, do the dishes, polish the dog. Why, it cleans up any kind of dirt or grime.
Any kind of grime?
That's right.
Consumers have rights.
Meanwhile, consumers like Archie Wilcox are advised to think it over a few days before spending a cent on anything that anyone is hustling. Rita Braver, CBS News, Washington.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the Clinton-Gore National Health Plan. How much will it cost and who will pay for it? And Eye on Your Health. Tonight, the remarkable power of the mind to heal.
When your sinuses are closing in on you, what you need is a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex adds Vicks Vapors to its decongestant, so at last you can feel your sinuses open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
There are lots of firsts in life. We're First Interstate Bank.
You never know what kind of copier dealer you got until you have a problem. But when you call a Minolta dealer...
Hi, this is Bart Christensen of M&M Sales Company. How may we help you?
You'll always have a dealer who makes service and response a #1 priority. So if you buy a Minolta copier from us, we'll leave no problem unsolved and no question unanswered.
Metamucil wafers.
For years, George Bush has insisted that when he was Vice President of the United States, he played no role in secretly sending weapons to the Ayatollah Khomeini. He said he was out of the loop, and he in effect said so again today. This time it was after a key player in the secret arms deal called Mr. Bush's claim, and now I quote, absolutely false. More about it from White House correspondent Susan Spencer.
A new challenge came today to President Bush's adamant claim that he was, quote, out of the loop when it came to the last administration's secret sales of arms to Iran. Retired General Richard Secord, who was convicted in the Iran-Contra affair, helped run the arms pipeline and send profits to the Contras. Today, Secord, who is pushing a new book, insisted he knows who knew what.
Well, I think it's fair to say that I believe that he was in the loop, and I'm not going to go beyond that right now.
In a separate interview, Secord reportedly says that not only did then Vice President Bush know about the sales, he pushed them forward. The White House today called any such allegations untrue. But for the president, Iran-Contra became stickier recently with the release of notes of a 1987 phone call between then Secretary of State Shultz and then Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger. The call followed an interview in which Mr. Bush said he hadn't known they opposed the arms sale. Cap called me, Shultz wrote, said, "That's terrible. He was on the other side. It's on the record. Why did he say that?"
I don't know about that. I've told very openly everything I have to say about it. I don't know about that memo. And I find nothing, I see no reason to contradict myself at all.
Mr. Bush is trying to make honesty and trust the campaign issue this year by constantly bringing up Bill Clinton's draft record. And allegations that he may not have told the truth are not helpful.
Here is a direct conflict between what two cabinet-level officers have said and what the President of the United States has said about it.
I'll say this. I've answered 100 times as many questions on the draft as he has on Iran-Contra.
At least one presidential scholar doubts, though, that either the draft or Iran-Contra will cut much with voters.
They're worried about their jobs, they're worried about their health, they're worried about their families. And what happened for George Bush for Iran-Contra or Bill Clinton in Vietnam must be very low on their list of worries.
And in fact, one person who knows a lot about Iran-Contra isn't fazed at all. Retired General Secord said he still plans to vote for President Bush. Susan Spencer, CBS News, the White House.
The House of Representatives has the next move in the election year battle over the family leave bill. The Senate voted today to override President Bush's veto. First time that's ever happened. But right now, it appears that there may not be enough votes in the House for an override. The bill would require bigger companies to give workers unpaid leave for family emergencies. On another campaign issue, Governor Bill Clinton today called President Bush's proposed health care reforms, and I quote, "too little, too late." But what about Clinton's own plan? How would that work, and who would pay for it? Correspondent Richard Threlkeld has some answers.
After the economy, guess what's most on voters' minds this fall?
We need better hospitals.
The Medicare program is severely inadequate. If you don't have a job, you can't pay for your health care. I like the idea of, a national health plan.
Bill Clinton outlined his health care plan at length today before an audience in New Jersey.
We will have a health care system that is the envy of the world, not only for the best doctors, the best pharmaceuticals, the best health care that the best of us can afford. We will have a system that also has American entrepreneurial ingenuity, holding costs within inflation and providing basic, good, quality, affordable health care to all of our people.
He promises complete coverage for everybody through a system of local health networks. Employers would be required to provide health coverage to their workers, but given tax credits to help them do so. A publicly financed insurance pool would cover the poor, and a new national health board would set medical standards and fees. Clinton claims he'd pay for all that by setting up a sort of national health cost budget and sticking to it. That, he says, would save $200 billion a year. But he hasn't said exactly how he'd cut costs.
It's a vision that everyone should be insured, that it should be comprehensive. But the specifics of how to do this, which are somewhat technical, are not spelled out.
Not spelled out because polls show most voters simply want to hear that a candidate's in favor of health care reform without the messy details.
The best interest of the candidate is to say, I favor a national health plan, thank you, and to tell them very little about who would pay to cover the 37 million uninsured, and how is it exactly we would get our health care costs down.
It's only fair to point out that President Bush's health care plan has at least as many defects as Governor Clinton's, and not much in the way of cost controls. So when it comes to specifics about who's going to pay for bigger and better health care, the prescriptions are about as murky as your doctor's handwriting. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
Stay here with us now for more of the CBS Evening News, including rising American concern about Iran's military buildup.
You've been dieting with a very special day in mind, which could mean you're not getting your daily amount of protein, because many foods that provide protein are also high in fat. But not this one. Kellogg's Special K, the only cereal that's fat-free and a good source of protein. So make Special K part of your future plans and get into that dress you've been dying to wear. Kellogg's Special K. Get the protein, lose the fat.
I wear a partial, this lateral incisor.
If you wear partials, you know what you've lost. But here's what you've really been missing. New Polident for partials, with the power to clean the pearly part and the metal part in just 5 minutes. So get new Polident for partials.
Do you really think naphtha can be replaced with a non-flammable solvent?
In 1929, she was the only woman and the only PhD chemist in the physics lab. But over the years, she was responsible for 29 different patents.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Stacer.
Dr. Stacer created a new career path for women and for her company. The same company that leads the nation in patents granted to women over the last decade. We think Dr. Stacer would be pleased.
Dow lets you do great things.
After examining, testing, it's a fact. You can buy new Preparation H hydrocortisone cream with the maximum strength available without a prescription to relieve problem itch. New Preparation H hydrocortisone cream. Prescription strength without a prescription.
14 dead. That's the official story, but was the Air Force's single largest Gulf War loss virtual suicide? The families want the truth. So do we. Street Stories tonight.
In Washington today, Israel and its Arab neighbors ended their 6th round of peace talks. They're still far apart on basic issues, but the Syrian delegate said, and I quote, "Peace is possible." They'll meet again in a month. Now, from around the world, more CBS News. Russia has shipped the first of 3 diesel submarines to Iran, part of Iran's new military buildup. The Bush administration says it views the Russian arms sales to Iran with, quote, concern. In Belfast, Northern Ireland, an IRA bomb wrecked a British police laboratory and damaged hundreds of nearby homes. 23 people were hurt. Police say a telephone warning came too late to clear the area. Floodwaters have receded in southern France, leaving behind millions of dollars in damage. 34 people are known dead. Officials fear the death toll could rise to more than 80. And in San Bernardino, California, gunfire erupted in a county courthouse, killing 1 man. Witnesses say the shooting followed a heated argument in a child custody case. Police later arrested a 30-year-old man. The courthouse has no metal detectors.
Wilfred Brimley for Quaker Oats.
Every day should start with Quaker Oats. Every day should feel this good. Nothing cold can make you feel the way hot oatmeal could.
I feel real good because I eat real good. These hot whole oats and Quaker Oats are nourishing, pure and powerful.
Every day should feel this good.
If you're nervous about investing, consider a MetLife State Street Mutual Fund. In today's complex market, a MetLife Mutual Fund can make investing sound and simple. It's enough to make you sing for joy. Get Met, it pays.
Listen, athlete's foot fungus grows beneath the surface of your skin. To cure it, you've got to get down to the root of the problem. You need Micatin.
Micatin penetrates the surface of your skin with miconazole to cure athlete's foot where it grows. Step up to the mic. Micatin.
If you took the most effective diarrhea medicine and shaped it into a caplet, you'd have Imodium AD caplets, the only caplet that often stops diarrhea in 1 dose. Imodium AD caplets, the original prescription for 1-dose relief.
You saw General Norman Schwarzkopf lead us to victory in the Persian Gulf. You didn't see him battling it out with Washington. Talking with General Schwarzkopf Monday on CBS This Morning.
Question: is it possible you have healing powers that you don't know about? All this week, Eye on America is investigating alternative medical treatments, what some call New Age medicine. Tonight, Edie Magnus looks at the power of the mind to heal the body. In Eye on Your Health, New Age, New Rage.
Perfect. Okay, watching on the screen, easy. Good, keeping your balance.
They said it couldn't be done. Certainly not this quickly, maybe not at all. But Marisol Cacho Sousa, paralyzed in a car accident, is slowly but surely learning to walk again.
Very impressive.
And it's happening literally by force of will. She's using biofeedback, a technique that teaches people to control basic body functions simply by concentrating on them.
I want you to look at the screen. The screen is letting you know what you're doing with brain cells.
Using computer sensors that display brain and muscle activity, she can watch her progress as she learns to locate any undamaged nerves that survived the injury and can be used to help in walking.
Now I can walk by myself, and before I couldn't, or I didn't dare to.
Easy, easy. Oh, good.
Marisol is among some 3,000 patients at the University of Miami who are using biofeedback for paralysis.
They actually have to train the nervous system. Just like if you want to play the piano, you have to practice it, and our brain has tremendous capacity to learn if it gets reliable information.
What I'd like you to do now is just practice some
biofeedback researchers are learning the mind can control many things. It can lower blood pressure, diminish or eliminate crushing headaches, even ward off nausea.
Liftoff of Endeavour on
Astronauts in last week's shuttle mission used biofeedback to combat the queasiness of being in space.
What we need to work on is the endurance of the muscle.
And biofeedback is restoring dignity to some of the 11 million people in the U.S. who suffer urinary incontinence. People like this man, so ashamed of his condition, he asked us not to show his face.
We came into the world wearing a diaper, and it's sad that many of us will go out wearing a diaper.
Your abdominals are more relaxed.
Now the incontinent are learning to enlist their minds to control their bladders.
The success rate using biofeedback is around 85% reduction in incontinent episodes with about a 30% cure rate.
I can actually see success. So to this point, I'm quite pleased.
Let the thoughts of the day start to drift away and become...
Researchers are also finding that the unconscious mind has the power to alleviate suffering. This is a hypnotherapy session.
Now, as the muscles of the body continue to relax... and
hypnosis has been steadily winning converts within the medical establishment as an effective treatment for pain.
Hypnotherapy is non-invasive, carries very few risks, and as such is a very easy way to control a problem that may otherwise be very difficult to treat.
Recent studies concluded hypnotherapy could relieve pain or reduce stress in 94% of patients, like Barbara Lewis.
You are able to transport yourself from the physical discomfort that you are experiencing.
She suffers cramps due to varicose veins.
Once I work on each of those veins in my mind in relaxation, it sort of removes them, and the pain is gone. All it did was really take one quick induction, hypnotic induction, for me to realize that, wow, the mind is a powerful thing and it can work.
Two notes of caution here. First, hypnotherapy will not work for everyone because not everyone can respond to the power of suggestion. Second, on biofeedback, rehabilitation experts say it may only help those who are paralyzed if some nerves in the body have survived an accident or injury. If all the nerves have died, they say biofeedback is useless. Dan?
Edie, what's the American Medical Association's position on this?
They are staunchly conservative about it. They are interested, they say, but uncomfortable with the quality of scientific studies which have been done on biofeedback and hypnotherapy. So they say there is no conclusive evidence to support widespread use of these methods for problems such as pain, paralysis, and incontinence.
Tomorrow night on this broadcast, number 5 in your special series, what are you going to report on?
We're going to look at the role of diet in preventing and the more controversial role of diet in treating cancer.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Edie Magnus. Coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, bloodshed in Japan. Can they blame it on America?
Is this seat taken?
No, please.
So that's what you're eating? Too bad.
This is a whole grain cereal.
Yes, with sugar and preservatives.
Oh, and I suppose that you're
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain? It's made with pure whole grain.
Oh, really?
It's the only whole grain cereal without sugar or preservatives added.
The only one? I didn't know.
I know.
So what else should I know?
You have milk on your chin?
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, as good as whole grain gets.
Red Devil Enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paints, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil Enamel, for the finish of a lifetime.
I'm gonna get changed. Coffee's right there.
Taster's choice.
I'll get it, okay?
Hi.
Do you want the lady of the house?
Well,
she's getting changed. Would you like to come in for some coffee?
Savor the sophisticated taste of Taster's Choice.
Who was at the door?
A neighbor. I said you were in the bedroom.
And did you tell him who you are?
He didn't ask. Great coffee.
There's one battery that backs you with free jumpstart service anywhere, for any reason. Die Hard.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Sears Die Hard. The battery you can count on to give you more power when you need it most.
Doctor. Is it right for me?
Habitrol. It's a patch.
You know the patch? Habitrol. You know, Habitrol.
It's a patch.
Habitrol.
Habitrol.
Habitrol Nicotine Transdermal System. Available by prescription only.
Thank you, Doctor.
Let us take you now to the Far East, where Japan is under pressure to import more from the United States. But some Japanese are now openly worried that they're already taking too much from America, and some of it threatens their way of life. Our Tokyo correspondent, Bill Whitaker, has a case in point.
In Fukushima, Japan, a man with a shotgun holds police at bay. Not long ago, Japanese thought violent gun crime was something on TV from America, but not anymore. Over the last few months, this nation has watched in horror as gunmen have gone on shooting sprees of murder, kidnapping, and robbery, shattering Japan's cherished image as a safe, gun-free society. Japan was forced to take notice when a right-wing gunman tried to shoot one of the country's leading politicians last spring. Police predict fewer than 100 people will be shot to death this year, a minuscule number by American standards, but alarming in this low-crime country where handguns are banned. Until recently, police were more prepared for sword attacks. Now they're taking aim at guns. Investigators say thousands of handguns are being smuggled into Japan, many of them Soviet military guns, which have become cheap and plentiful on the black market since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Japanese gangsters are taking advantage of that confusion, and they smuggled handguns to Japan.
Authorities say it's not just that handguns are available, but that more people seem willing to use them. They call it the Americanization of Japanese crime. Some believe Japan is picking up America's bad habits through the pervasive influence of American movies and pop culture.
Using guns for holdups and jumping in a getaway car, that's the American way. We never did that before.
Police and alarmed citizens say violent crime is one American import they definitely want to keep out. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Tokyo.
And that's part of our world tonight. Don't forget Easy Ed Bradley along on Street Stories coming up on this CBS station at 8 Central Time. They'll have a lot of good stuff. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. See you tomorrow. Good night.
CBS News.
Coming up next on the TV8 News, accused killer Charles Lesage says Des Moines police violated his rights. Jeff Greenwood with testimony coming up.
More students, but fewer dollars for DMAC. Michelle Parker with details. And look, but don't touch, it's the new hard-to-get sports car.
Connie with a Project Main Street update. Heidi with a best of the preps. TV8 News is coming up next.
Presenting Digital Music Express. 30 channels of CD quality music. The music you want to hear when you want to hear it. DMX comes through your TV cable into your tuner and right into your stereo. And you get all 30 channels for a lot less than you ever thought you'd pay for music. If you like music, you're gonna love DMX. Digital Music Express. Just call us today.
Now available in Ames, Nevada, as well as Greater Des Moines.
Snowbirds, here's your chance. Over 20 top dealers will be offering the year's best prices at the Greater Iowa RV and Boat Show at Vets in Des Moines, September 23rd through 27th. This is the Midwest's largest show of the year. See 2 full floors and outside displays of 1993 model boats, campers, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and motor homes. Plus 92 closeouts, too. Register to win a week's use of this beautiful motorhome. Don't miss the Greater Iowa RV and Boat Show, September 23rd through 27th at Vets Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa. Take the 5th Street exit off I-235.
We're celebrating America's favorites. Great Nabisco cookies and crackers are specially priced this week at your local Food Saver stores. Premium saltines, just 69 cents with coupon. Chips Ahoy cookies, $1.89. Fruit Newtons, $1.79. And Teddy Grahams, 2 for $3. Perfect for after school and lunch snacks. Pick up your favorites this week at Food Saver. While you're there, look for our special display and register to win a year's supply of Nabisco cookies and crackers. Enjoy America's favorites today.
You're watching today's TV8. And this is News Now. This is TV8 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kevin Cooney.
And I'm Sue Mason in for Paul Rhodes. A child murder suspect takes the witness stand.
Charles Lesage says his rights were violated. Lesage is accused in the murder of 11-year-old Rosalind Barnes. As CVA's Jeff Greenwood tells us now, Lesage took the stand today and took aim at some key evidence against him.
This is not a trial, it's a hearing being held before the trial.